All right, my fellow agents, it is I, X7, your master of monstrous mayhem, and the host of Xenorama, the podcast of Heroes and Monsters, also the co host of GD Explanations. We've been having a bit of a Gorgo week, well, except for yesterday, but Sunday, today, and probably tomorrow. But today is not really Gorgo. It is a monster starting with G, Gappa, which many people think is a ripoff of Gorgo, and I can see why, but we'll just talk about that in a bit. But before we get too much further into this, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of Gappa and Gorgo and the other monsters that Gorgo has a lot more in common with than, say, well, pardon me, Gappa has a lot more in common with than Gorgo does. But and if you could, watch to the end. There's always fun witticisms, and there'll be some video in here, some interesting stuff. I'll tell you what, not just the trailer, which is of course 3 minutes. So let's get rolling. I keep forgetting I've done this new sort of thing here where we've got the title card here for this, and then then it goes to that. So I wanted to put that in there, and then we're going to have the actual. Well, let's just go into it. We start with this: the ship sailing to Obelisk Island, and then we get the title. This is from the Blu-ray that was released by. Okay, we can stop singing here now. All right. This Blu-ray was released by Media Blasters, and it's the definition of bare bones. They don't even have a trailer on it, which is odd because there's a trailer in English that they just brought over. It was dubbed by William Ross and his associates, and I think it's pretty darn good dub because AIP didn't bother to dub it again. So I thought it works well. It's some people have not liked it, but it's all right. So there's the AIP title. Now let's see the AIP credits. How's that sound? Sounds great, doesn't it? Okay, so when you saw this title card come up on television, you were pretty much guaranteed a good time, or at least a very interesting or unusual time. So there you go. It starts out in Japan and heads toward the South Seas of where Obelisk Island is. But we don't know why. They skip over a bunch of stuff, most of the credits. Well, actually, they don't. But this is probably one of the best prints I've seen. Full screen, 16 millimeter, battered. But I just thought we'd see the original opening here. You don't hear the song, which you can hear if you listen to the Japanese language and the English subtitles, and it's even got the song translated in it, which is pretty cute. But it starts. There we go. So this was the export version. It was released commercially or theatrically, pardon me, in the UK under Gappa the Triphibian Monster, and then over here, of course, Monster from a Prehistoric Planet, which made you think it was a dinosaur of some kind. I mean, it's not. No dinosaur ever looked like this. Our cast is our cast. It is a Nikatsu picture, which they were not. See where Moss did that. They were not really well known for actual monster movies, but it was 1967, and everyone was making them. It was released April 22nd, 1967. 84 minutes the Japanese version, 90 minutes the international version. And there's our director. All right, so off we go. All right, we round up just a bit. See these beautiful colors. It looks a little different than the actual 16 millimeter print, which, like I said, that one was the best we are probably going to get. But I don't know why you'd buy that at all, though a lot of people aren't. There's our heroes, sort of, and yeah, the 5th anniversary of Playmate Inc. So they're going to build this tropical paradise in Japan, so no one has to go and get it. There's our not so much hero. That's the dad, the guy who runs Playmate Inc., which is a magazine. And, you know, there's never really said what the magazine's about, but, just take a guess. So there's, I don't know who this guy is. He's the comic relief. He's the first to see the monsters, apparently. And, but the ship runs into it, and he's telling them it was a monster. But they make fun of him. And look up, there it is. Obelisk is. Yeah, the subtitles are nice. It's almost the dub titles, but it's different enough that you can see that the dub actually probably follows the script pretty well. The effects are quite well done here, I think. I mean, if you compare this to Gorgo, which we're going to, they're mostly better than the effects in Gorgo. The monster suits were made by Akira Watanabe, who did the rest of the effects, and this might have been based on the original Gorgo story, but I think mostly, well, we'll see. We'll talk about it. There's the obelisk, and they think, oh, it's Easter Island. This is getting interesting. There's our hero, Saki, who does not get I don't see him in. He's the one who's, says, leave the monsters alone. He's the smart one. He's the Sean of the group. So there is that. But he also reminds one of the Peanuts, please return the egg, or let us go home. Don't kidnap us. Beautiful scenery. I don't see filming. Didn't say where it lasted, but it's just real pretty though. I think in a barren sort of way. Special effects there. You can kind of see where it is, but not bad. And now they realize that they're in Playmate Land. The natives come out, but they're happy the Japanese people have returned and have a celebration. Gappa no angry. So they do kind of speak like Tonto or Tarzan, or just take one, or the Hulk, whichever one that you want to. So Saki tells them Gappa's not a god, and then we see this. So there's Prehistoric Island. Look at the feathers on that pteranodon. Very interesting. Funny line. He's lost from these three. Saki's running around this place in bare feet on these rocks and everything. Kids were tough back then. Now this is a nice shot. I mean, if you know where to look, you can see the matte line, but it looks good. But then another earthquake, and open up this grotto under the volcano. Sounds like under the volcano. Another lovely effects shot. Now we're back on the stage, and she gets hassled. He's hassling her and telling her to become a wife and quit being a working woman and a photographer and have babies. He's kind of a jerk, but there is a story arc here. So they fossils, which they're not even fossils; those are actual bones that haven't fossilized. So something's alive. But there's an egg, which is actually the size an egg would be for even a giant monster. And wow, what a coincidence it happened. It hatches. Gee, many Christmas. And little baby Gappa comes out. Gappa's pretty cute, actually. Little Gappa. I think little Gorgo is pretty cute too. But yeah, see, Saki's telling him, don't do it. And that's the way he speaks in the dub. Apparently the subtitles in Japanese as well. But they've captured it. They're going to take it back to civilization. Unfortunately, here they come. Now, Gappa sounds a lot like the Kappa, which is a Japanese water, or an oni, or a water demon, or a yokai. Probably yokai is better. That would pull people under, depending on the story. It's a benevolent one, or a trickster, or a malevolent one. So you can see it in Sakuya, Demon Slayer, and a couple of the yokai movies from around the same time period, which we will review because I really enjoy two of them. They're sure it's a dinosaur egg, but there's a scientist there who knows it's not a dinosaur. And now the publisher there, he's all, he's a burnt lizard. There's his daughter who wants a mom, and he's all, see, there's the burnt lizard thing. But now that baby Gappa's gone, there's an earthquake, and the volcano goes off. And out they come. So let's look at some of this from the 16 millimeter point of view. How's that sound? I said that before. We're going to do it whether it sounds good or not. Already, you know something bad's going to happen. The natives are restless and running away. Now, these are Japanese people in just darkening their skin. I mean, take that for what it is. Doesn't bother me. Erupts with all the fury of a fake volcano, which every movie of this time period does. And there's Dad Gappa breaking through to the other side. Yeah, I did just make a Doors reference. I'm sorry. Now, Baby Gappa, as we will find out, has some kind of telepathic power. And off they go to, or at least they say he's got an incredible homing ability. And there's Mama. Now, she's got a shorter crest and she's smaller. We're assuming it's Mama. Sometimes, yeah, roles are reversed. But it's a pretty effective, um, you get to see them. They go on a rampage and stomp the village because they're annoyed. Poor natives. But we'll stop here. So this is how clear the picture is. You can see Saki cowering there from the Gappas. The Gappa. They wipe out the village. The natives get into their boats and go out, but they leave Saki, who the submarine finds because they see the volcano exploding. Our semi-heroes have returned there to Japan, and out comes the publisher, who's just sure he's got a burnt lizard, and then he sees what he's got. And yep, mysteriously postponed because they want to put it on the out for review. So yeah, that's the Toto University Biology Research Institute. So it's grown 1.5 feet in 1 week. It seems like it's gotten bigger than that. So our doctor is more concerned with his research than he is with anything else. The young woman is another one of the heroes. I want to say that's probably Yoko Yamamoto as Koyanagi. And then the publisher is Keisuke Inoue as Mr. Funazi, magazine owner. He's a jerk. He's torturing the poor little baby. He's lucky he didn't get scooshed in a different monster movie. He might have been, but he's got a kid, so, and he's a widower, and it sparks. So they're surprised about that. But the baby just wants out. He kind of bonds with Koyanagi, and now we're back to the sub. Saki's on the sub, telling him that he needs to go to Japan, and they're on the way. Now we find out they can fly. Haneda Airport is shut down because these things are flying around. I just love watching the old TVs. Where you had to, and they thought that was a big screen back then. Things have changed since the 2000s, really. We had big screens, but they weren't any better anyway. They land just really cool shots here. I mean, these are obviously just small models for the water, but they work. I love that shot. Maybe we did make a big mistake. You think, has bringing a dinosaur or a monster or anything back from a jungle back to civilization ever worked out well? Find me a movie where it worked out well. Find me a book, a comic book, a television show. It doesn't. So there's a nice shot of them crushing through a dance hall. Dad's the superintendent. And so in the 8mm blurb for what Ken films, we were warned about the giant octopus. Not a lot in a very similar way but this is all the giant octopus is. It's food for Junior. And it's similar to them. Beware the ape monster from their Equinox blurb when Antares isn't even in the movie Equinox, the 8mm condensation. So this is, I think you can see it. We'll actually have that on here. Oh, I forgot to put that in there. So Mom and Dad, they're shooting. See, you can see the octopus there. Oh, that probably was a real one. But when they shoot him at him, she drops it, and we don't see it anymore. I'm assuming it was food for the Junior. And now they unleash their their atomic beam because all monsters at this time, almost all monsters, good and bad, had an extra weapon, breath weapon, solid spit. Take you name it, they probably had it. Except for Virus, he didn't have one. Off they go. The jets are useless. The beams kind of travel independent of where their mouths are aimed. They were not as they didn't have the time and the energy to take the shots, and probably didn't have the clout to take as many shots as Honda would have. But there's a nice one where they fly toward Fujiyama. So now they're trying to poison him. Now they're going to use sound effects against him. Saki and the little girl, little Funazi. I don't see what her name is. Maybe Ihara. But they kind of bond over that. They want Gappa to go back, and now these two idiots can't figure out why the baby likes them. Because and then now we have the misunderstanding. She's in love with Kurosaki, but he's like, "You're in love with the scientist." She's like, "I don't like either of you right now, jerks." So she's glad Saki's okay, and he wants to go back to the island with Gappa, even though his people probably are on a different island completely. I'm assuming at the end of the movie he gets to go back. Spoiler alert. So they play some Air Supply or Barry Manilow or maybe a Yoko Ono marathon, but they just don't, or maybe that achy breaky song, and drives them right out of the water, which causes not a tidal wave. It's not a seismic or tidal wave. Either would be correct, but a kind of small tsunami. Another nice effect, although the air, they did the best they could. I think they did a good job. The costumes are great. So this monster, it lives up, Triphibian Monster, Earth, Sea, and Air, and breathes fire. It could be a quadriphibian monster, really, but mostly they're stealing from Godzilla, Rodan, and a bit of Mothra. The story, they're returning the baby. That's what gets the Gorgo comparisons. The producers said they hadn't seen Gorgo. I find that hard to believe since they imported American Eastern movie or Western monster movies. But I think that has far more in common with the standard kaiju movie than Gorgo, which Gorgo doesn't get a lot of sympathy. I mean, Gorgo gets sympathy because Gorgo and Sean are the most sympathetic characters in the movie. But these guys all learn. I'm hoping, but see, he's taken both him and the professor take responsibility. Tanaka and Kurosaki, but the dad doesn't right away, and Ihara is pissed, and he's left alone. I love this shot too. So the director was, who did we say? Haruyusa Noguchi. But they've just got them all there, and the radio announcer really does sound like Gary Owens. I'll tell you what. There's the baby being airlifted to the. So again, this is closer to Mothra. I mean, I think they borrowed a lot, but not just from Gorgo. So, and I think it's a better movie than Gorgo for the most part. A little longer, runs 84 minutes, or 90 minutes here. And there you go. That's the real place. They let the baby loose. They amplify the baby's cries, or Gappa Junior to the parents. They fly over. I mean, you can tell it's the real place. There's all these real airlines. They land, and he has to learn how to fly. So the song kicks in the Japanese version, which is why it's subtitled there. She forgives him, and I'm hoping that he turned a better leaf. And Saki's crying because he's not going back that way. They'll have to flying back or take a boat back because there's no airports in what's left of Obelisk Island. And there he lands. Junior takes off. They fly away. And we're about done here. So she says they ruined both their ambitions. But really, did she? I don't think so. I was going to put another clip in there, but I think we're good because I've got a special for the end. And let's see. She's going to quit her job and become a housewife and have babies. And Tanaka says, yep. So off they go. Goodbye, Japan. Goodbye, Gappa. Goodbye. So let's see the trailer here. No, we'll watch the trailer. Let's see the special I've got. That'll be fun.
Where are all these people running? They're hurrying to their video stores so they won't be left out of Orion Home Video's Monster Movie Madness. Some of Filmdom's favorite freaks are coming to thrill customers this November for just $19.98 each.
Oh, very good. Wonderful.
It's terrific.
From outer space to ocean depths, from Korea to Japan, these cantankerous creatures are wreaking havoc at every turn. It's coast-to-coast monster madness.
Look at that!
Just when you thought it was safe to go in the water, the monster from a prehistoric planet is coming ashore to make some waves. Their baby has flown the nest, and now Mom and Pop are hunting him down. The natives are restless until these three rowdy reptiles are reunited.
It's all over.
Oh, no, it's not. This extraterrestrial is earthbound, and not even the courageous crew of ABB Gamma can stop him. He's X from outer space, and he's destroying everything in his path. Things really start moving and shaking when Yongari, monster from the deep, comes to town.
It's Yongari, he's coming out!
He's the new guy on the block. And the neighborhood will never be the same.
Save the earth! Save the earth! Save the earth!
Only one thing can save the Earth from this sack of sludge.
Godzilla!
That's right. The big guy's back to battle it out in Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. He slides. He flies. He tries the evil eye, but he's no match for the granddaddy of them all, Godzilla.
Godzilla! Thanks a lot!
Monster from a prehistoric planet. Yongari, monster from the deep. Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. And the X from outer space. 4 fabulous monster movies packed with firepower. Coming from Orion Home Video at just $19.98 each. Orion backs this monster movie collection with ads appearing in these trade publications and these enthusiast publications for a combined circulation of over 2.5 million readers. We are also providing a full-color fold-out brochure, an eye-catching poster, and an alluring cassette box for each of the 4 titles. Remember, the order cutoff date is October 31st, and the street date is November 16th. Monster movies, only $19.98 each, coming from Orion Home Video.
The song actually it rocks pretty hard, so I like that. So that was the Orion when they released X from Outer Space, the Monster from Prehistoric Planet, Yongari, and Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, all with their original dubs, including the Titan dub for Smog Monster, which is now officially considered lost, though if you know where to find it, you know where to find it. But we'll also get to see the 8mm. I want to put it in there, but that's going to push this past about 30 minutes. Oh, well. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to. But having said all that, that's our movie for today. Tomorrow will be the young ones. We'll say goodbye to them. Gappa did show up on an episode of Red Dwarf, of all things. I thought they said that in here. But it is a public domain movie, really. But until our next assignment, please enjoy whatever comes next. Until our next assignment, this is X7. Signing off and phasing out.
Today, modern man is preoccupied by the mysteries of outer space. Scientists are probing farther and farther away from Earth. And yet, here on this very world we live in, are hidden mysteries. Mysteries better left alone. For if they are disturbed, they could destroy the world. And now, an expedition goes to a strange South Sea island.
a forbidden jungle. To a forbidden village. Breaking taboos that anger the gods.
Gappa! Gappa angry! Gappa! Gappa angry! Angry!
The revenge of the monsters.
Gappa!
The selfish whim of a magazine publisher.
In this park, I will have strange tropical animals.
Results in horrible destruction.
Gappa!
Nothing can stop them.
Gappa!
The monsters can actually think. And in addition, they can communicate with others of their own species.
Worldwide terror.
Gappa!
Coming soon.
Gappa!